we have our next presenter, but our next presenter, Professor Maria Walcher, cannot be here with us in person today, unfortunately, but she has arranged to have her colleague to step in and deliver her presentation. It will be the President of Association of Natural Medicine in Europe, Nora Laubstein. Professor Walcher's presentation is called Intangible Cultural Heritage, a tool to preserve and transmit knowledge and practices of traditional medicine to next generations. Thank you.
Yeah, hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Can you use...
It's okay? Okay, so first of all, it's a pity that Professor Maria Walcher could not attend, but I will give you a personal statement of her before the presentation, because I think it's very interesting to get her her individual voice. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, dear Carla, when people talk about medicine, they usually mean natural sciences, covering physical and chemical processes, standardized therapies and remedies. Dealing with traditional medicine, this approach will never be sufficient to characterize, for example, treatments based on local resources or efficiency factors based on individual perception. In the following, I would like to introduce you to a surprising way to take respectfully care of traditional healing skills and knowledge and their preservation and transmission to next generations. It is a story that started exactly 20 years ago in the headquarters of UNESCO in Paris, when the General Assembly adopted the Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage in October 2003. At first sight, linking the terms cultural heritage and traditional medicine might seem a little bit strange for some of you. Cultural heritage is always closely connected to UNESCO. For a long time, UNESCO got its worldwide acceptance by the famous World Heritage Convention concerning the protection of cultural and natural heritage of outstanding universal value. And over time, the term cultural heritage was associated with monuments and landscapes. UNESCO nevertheless started early to work on an extended concept of culture, as you read in the definition of the Mexico Declaration in 1982. However, it should last another 20 years to implement the full meaning of this vision in a legal action, the Convention 2003. At the beginning, this convention was mainly preserved as a proposal to the developing countries, as they were not well represented on the World Heritage List. Most of the Western industrial nations did not feel concerned, as cultural seemed to be institutionally well established in their countries. In their understanding, intangible heritage was sufficiently covered. But what is intangible cultural heritage? So, now I finish here as this statement of Maria Walcher, and we will continue with the slides here. First of all, we have the UNESCO Declaration in Mexico City, and this is the original text. In its widest sense, cultural may not be said to be the whole complex and blah, blah, blah. So for you to read, this is the text we find on the UNESCO site And I think it includes not only the arts and letters, but also modes of life, the fundamental rights of the human being, value systems, tradition, and beliefs. Now, to the question, it's connected with all cultural forms of expression, such as dance, theater, music, tradition, festivals, as well as experimental knowledge in the engagement with nature and traditional craftsmanship, the relation to the local and natural surroundings. Intangible cultural heritage expresses creativity and innovation, gives a sense of identity, continuity, and is passed on from one generation to the next. My first contact with this was in Vienna, where a WHO presentation infects me, and I thought about, oh, this could be something for traditional medicine. It could be interesting to think about what's going on in this sense, because we are traditional craftsmanships doing, we have experience. This is a more wider and broader definition only to be claimed on medicine. It's not the real world. I think traditional and complementary medicine is a wider aspect. So this infected me, and exactly when you look at this, you have to find what the UNESCO's 5 domains are to be clarified as a cultural heritage. The orally transmitted traditions and form of expression, performing arts, social practices, rituals and festivals, knowledge and practice relating to nature and the universe, traditional craft techniques. So, where is really the difference between the traditional and complementary medicine practitioners' work every day with the patients? What's the social content? What's the wider aspect of this form of healing or well-being, to look what the people need, and to the individual aspects which are needed. So I think this is very interesting for all health systems we have, and I will continue here. The purpose of the convention, they want, if you make there are national aspects and international aspects. So I don't know whether Czechia is now have signed this convention of 2003. I'm not sure. Austria does. Switzerland does, Germany does, so a lot of European countries have done so, but you have to bring in your idea what's exactly to UNESCO and to make a process. So safeguarding the intangible cultural heritage means the identification, documentation, research, preservation, protection, promotion, enhancement, transmission, participation, and so on, provide for international cooperation and assistance. So you have what's necessary in this way to do, and you have to think about if you could fulfill that. You should also ensure respect for the intangible cultural heritage of the communities, the group, individuals, raise awareness at the local, national, international levels for the importance of the cultural heritage and of ensuring mutual appreciation. So for me, this is so important that the only focus on medicine and public health system, for me, it's too short. It's really too short. We have, for me, it's the second leg we need for arguing, for bringing up our ideas to the officials and to the health authorities. And it has become, in the last years, a really big argument. And now Here is a list of those who have done it. For example, you have an international list at the UNESCO in Paris, and then you have a national list. So it's two different lists, and this is here from the international list. And I have more about on our website of the Association for Natural Medicine. It's below this address. And there you can find exactly what all, for example, yoga is also accepted as an intangible cultural heritage. And also the Chinese with acupuncture and Max Sebastian, and so on and so on. Some explain for nationalists. Maria Walcher has brought up, of course, the Austrian. She was involved professionally in this Austrian UNESCO list. And so you have here the local healing knowledge of the Pinzgau region. And this Pinzgau region and the healers and the people of this area will be next year the winner of the ANME award for their work. And we will bring this up at the conference in Vienna for the Traditional European Medicine Forum. And we have the Switzerland, for example, face healing. It's interesting for the Mr. of Poland, I think, who has talked to me yesterday. Natural healing, apostel. So you see, it's really local events, but it's a social community who brings it up. This is very important, and it's vital. It has to be not something of the past for the museum. It has to be vital, up to date, and in a group, together, also prepared for the future. So this is very interesting for us. So what are the advantages of intangible heritage? You have here enable access to communities and their living environments. This, you see, this is really interesting that here the holistic aspect, it's a real holistic aspect, and the sustainable aspect is a real sustainable aspect. It's not only an SDG for economic, it's sustainable in the whole local society and the nature. So this is a big difference, and we have to be clear and aware of the differences, because the name dropping and the power about definition is a battle we have all over the world. You know all the word fake news and alternative facts. So for me, the 17 SDGs are something like fake news when you see it only under the economic aspect. Economic growth. Is there a business you can make with? And this is not in the sense of nature and the whole planet, but it's called sustainability. So we have to look at it exactly. But we have all here these points which are very interesting. Condition and perspective. Yeah, it must be to keep alive, it must be relevant. Gives new value to cultural heritage by designating is a living heritage and promoting societal value in the light, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the time is short. I take the, I go back. Because one thing is very important. Maria Walcher is also part of an organization in Austria, and I now have a test for you. Please give me your hand when you know what it is. Who knows the characters TCIM for traditional European medicine? Who knows it? 1, 2, 3. So, I think this is interesting. Cultural heritage is a topic. It's your medicine, the traditional European medicine, with a history about 3,000 years, documented scientifically. And we have all this in our countries in Europe. We have traditional European medicine. And I invite you to the next forum in Wien on the 15th and 16th of June in Vienna. There will be a forum, a European forum for traditional European medicine. And I think it's necessary to think about your cultural heritage. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Laubstein, for being here for Professor Walcher and contributing on her behalf, which we are, and I'm sure also Professor Walcher, very grateful for.